It's been just over 2 months. In fact, it was on August 17, 2025, when two Tremonton police officers, Sergeant Lee Sorenson and Officer Eric Estrada, were killed responding to a domestic violence disturbance call in Tremonton. They were shot and killed at the scene by a man with a high-powered rifle. Well, now, a Tremonton man is fundraising to send officers and their families to our nation's capital for Police Week in May, when the names of these two fallen officers will be added to the National Law Enforcement Memorial.
I just thought this story was so touching, right? I mean, it's one of the things, again, we talk about a lot on the show. Utah steps up in many ways, and this is one where somebody in the community is like, hey, I want the other officers and their families to be able to go back and be there when their names are placed on this memorial. So Darren Jex is a man behind the fundraiser, and he's selling specialty coasters commemorating the fallen officers. Let's listen to more from KSL TV's Mike Anderson.
From a blank black slate.
Very small thing that I hope that I can do to help my hometown.
You can make something pretty remarkable with the right guidance and a laser focus.
It symbolizes the department badge, but also memorializes these two officers.
As Lee Sorenson and Officer Eric Estrada are added to the National Law Enforcement Memorial this May, Darren Jex realizes how important it is.
I know how I would feel, if...
for their sisters and brothers to be there too.
If that happened to Brent.
Because his brother...
every penny helps. It's really important for the closure.
Is Tremonton-Garland Detective Brent Jex.
We are aiming to send the entire department and our spouses. So we figure we need to raise between now and May about $100,000.
A huge goal for his department. He and Chief Dustin Cordova are the only ones
I'd like to say it gets easier,
who have been through this before.
but it doesn't.
It's why both say that community support is so important, that if we all work together, they, through that heavy burden,
They put their lives on the line every day that they go out.
can have the backing that they deserve.
And so the company's called Cold Water Productions. You can buy a set of 6 of these for $27, but you can buy multiple quantities. We'll have a link up at KSLTV.com.
So the man behind this, Darren Jex, has a brother, Brent Jex, who's in fact a detective with that same police department. And you could tell from the sound of his voice when he said, well, this could have happened to my brother. And he got choked up because, as you recognize, as everyone recognized in that soundbite there, that was from KSL TV's Mike Anderson, law enforcement officers go to work every day and put their lives on the line.
So there are multiple ways to be able to donate to this effort. So you have Darren Jex's company, as we heard, they're doing the coasters, and you can look at KSL.com and see images of those. They're really beautiful. But his company is Cold Water Productions. There's also another company called Gunslinger Forge that's selling challenge coins in honor of both Sorenson and Estrada for the same cause. People can send direct donations to Golden Spike, which is Fraternal Order of Police Lodge number 43 in Tremont, and that information is also on the KSL.com article. But again, I think it's really... it's touching, but it's also, I think, a sign of the way the community rallied immediately around this police department, the families affected and impacted, including the wife of the alleged shooter at this point, right? They rallied around her. They helped with her yard. They are helping. I'm sure it's ongoing efforts, right, from a community that was just really rocked by the violence earlier this year.
And we attended, at least during our program, we joined both of the funerals of these two fallen officers, and they were just beautiful ceremonies. We covered those live on KSL NewsRadio when they occurred in August. And so the National Law Enforcement Memorial has a service, Police Week, every May, and they add the names of fallen officers to the memorial. What they're trying to do is raise money here so that Utah can send a contingent, and I assume that would include family members of both of the fallen officers and members of our own law enforcement community. And if you recall, those funerals were very well attended by officers from all over the country. I mean, we had people from agencies. I don't remember some of the cities, but I remember their people were coming from all over the country.
Idaho and Montana, and there were some from Florida and from California. Yeah, exactly. And it's again, they're trying to raise $100,000 to get people there. So it's officers there in the Tremonton-Garland. It's at least their spouses, and then trying to get them out there at no charge to them, right, so that they can go be there as they honor officers Estrada and Sorenson.
Yeah, because they're probably going to do everything they can to go notwithstanding. But yeah, if you can
Exactly.
if you can relieve some of that burden, and it's really a good-looking little. It's like a coaster, a big slate thing, but I don't know how he carved it. Must have some
Laser.
Yeah, Tremonton-Garland. It looks like a badge on a coaster. It's beautiful, and then of course there are the coins too that are being created here too. So some people are putting in their time and effort and money and doing what they can to make sure that we can send a contingent to this Fallen Officer Museum here in May.
And I'm looking at the Fallen Officer Memorial page, and it is they this is really sad, but they built the memorial large enough so that they can accommodate fallen officers for the next 35 years.
Ouch.
Right, because they have to stencil them on there and they carve them on. They've had to expand it, unfortunately, and by adding another 15 to 25 sections, just so that we can look forward into the future about 30 years from now.
Does what you're looking at tell you where the National Law Enforcement Memorial is?
It does. It's
that's a place I would probably want to visit if I was there. I know a lot of officers just from my own years of practice who have died in the line of duty here in the state of Utah, several, and it would be nice to pay honor if I was ever there and go to that venue and see what's been there and see what's there for our officers here.
It's in Washington, D.C., but I'm not actually seeing the specifics of where it is. But you can find the names, and it reminds me of the Vietnam War Memorial, where you can find the names of people who died chronologically. So it's the same type of thing that you can do, and you can take a self-guided tour. But they're saying, hey, come during the National Police Week or even Police Weekend.
Yeah, and it's $100,000 is a significant amount of money, but it's something that we ought to be able to raise for these officers to be able to, and their family members, to be able to attend this. I assume the chief and some of the leaders of the Tremonton-Garland Police Department would want to go as well as the two victim officers' families. We don't hear much about that case, by the way, the criminal end of it. I assume it's moving forward because not long after that we had Charlie Kirk, and our focus in terms of awful crimes in the state of Utah shifted from what was truly an awful crime to another awful crime. It just got a little different.
So what I've learned from you, though, too, is this process is slow.
Right.
I mean, it's I guess speedy in the sense of everybody deserves a speedy trial, but from the outside looking in, it feels like it's kind of slow. It moves slowly. The wheels of justice turn slowly.
And the Box Elder County attorney announced right at the outset, just as the Utah County attorney did in the Charlie Kirk homicide, that he was filing it as a death penalty case. And in Utah, you don't have to make that election until after a preliminary hearing. But both of those law enforcement leaders, county attorneys, said right at the shoot, we're filing these as death penalty cases.
So we have a very helpful texter, thank you so much, that tells us that the National Law Enforcement Memorial is in Judiciary Square. So it's the 400 block of East Street in Washington, D.C. So thank you so much for that. That was super helpful. Anyway, in May, again, they will have a full week. And during that time, there's a candlelight vigil. They will uncover the names of the officers who died in the line of duty in 2025. And where Utahns are trying to raise money to send the Tremonton-Garland Police Department and their spouses back there.
Yeah, so there is a Coldwater Productions. The Gunslinger Forge is selling challenge. There's actually two ways. Coldwater Productions selling the coasters, and Gunslinger Forge is selling challenge coins. So there's two places where you can donate. And you can also make donations to the Golden Spike Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge number 43, in care of Brent Jex. I assume that's Jex, but anyway, there are ways to donate to this as well.